All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today, I just want to get into a lesson concerning the Lord's intents and purposes, which is the violent overthrow of Babylon the Great. The Lord, His plan in this lifetime is for America to be destroyed. And throughout the scriptures, it was constantly mentioned. Because really, you go into the prophecies, it was for this moment that we're in now. Matter of fact, let's start off with this in the book of 2 Ezra 8. In verse 61, it reads, "And therefore is my judgment now at hand." And that's concerning now. That wasn't, this precept is not frozen in time. You can put in a box of what that was only concerning the time when Ezra wrote this. No, that judgment at hand, now at hand, is concerning really now is at hand. Because this is the time where you have nuclear missiles on the earth, and they already built in with a certain location and a certain target within it. It's programming, which that target is America. Its missiles already pointed to America right now. They show you that the judgment of the Lord is at hand. It says, "These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee." And that's only the elect, those that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. That he, that turn, that biblical worldview, that turn. We see things through the testimony of Yahweh Shai, this reality. So that's how we know what's going on. Because the Lord, the scriptures narrating what's actually taking place. It says, "Then answered I and said, Behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou shalt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me." And so let's go to the chapter 9, verse 1. It reads, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand there is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." And that world, they'll just think it's just the earth. No, that world, in a sense, is really concerning at a certain time, at a certain age. The world of Edom. This is the time where the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shah, set forth to pour forth his judgment. Ultimately, we want to fast forward the movie. The results, America is going to be totally destroyed. All this shit here and there, the commotions and the protests and this and that, the laws, legislation, at the end of the day, to sum it all up, the Lord wants America to destroy it. And we seeing that's where it's heading towards. So matter of fact, let's get this in the book of, let's start with this in the book of Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49 and this is Jeremiah 49. And I start at verse 13. It reads, "For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Bosra shall become a reproach, shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste." So this is concerning the total annihilation of America. And it says Bosra, which is the chief city of Edom, which today Bosra is America. This is Esau's baby. When you think of the so-called white man, the country that represents this nigga is America, man. It is, from the pride, the arrogance, the wickedness, So Basra, it said it's going to be a perpetual waste, meaning it's going to be destroyed, and it's not like it's going to be built back up after. Matter of fact, is that Isaiah 34? It talks about Basra as well. Right, yep. Isaiah 34, I started verse 5. It reads, For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. And that sword being bathed in heaven is going to make a whole lot more sense. Because when you see those missiles covering the skies, those missiles going to fill the skies, man. The scriptures talk about the number of the army of the horsemen, 200 million. Those 200 million warheads, and the bulk of them will be shot over here in America, man. And that is what it show you that this attack is gonna come from on high. It's gonna be an aerial attack. It says, Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So it says it's gonna come down, just like the fire and brimstone. Matter of fact, I think it's actually. Now we'll get that. We'll go back to Jeremiah 49 because the judgment of Edom is compared to the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah. Of course, because of the wickedness, the same offense, but just they're going to receive that same act, and that's why you have missiles on the planet Earth. That's going to be a form of that fire and brimstone raining down, man. Even John talked about how he's seen those stones. It said as the weight of a talent. He was seeing the warhead, that last stage of the missile where those warheads was coming down, man. See, this is the purpose, intents of the Lord. This has been thought of since the beginning of time, man. Before reality as you know it, this was in the script. Before the Babylonian Empire and Nebuchadnezzar and Pharaoh, all this was written. It was already predestined for this to play out, because this is the Lord's movie. This is his script, and as you can see, this is his intent. It says verse 6: the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. See? Because we in America, either to be delivered or to be destroyed, man. That's why we just hope to be kept. The Lord deliver us, because it's one or the other. The Lord, his purpose, because America, this is a big altar. And these people are going to be that sacrifice, man. Because this whole land, man, is set to be destroyed. It says, and the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust shall be made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of the recompense for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof shall be into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. See, the whole land is going to be on fire. From the you got oil reserves, and you got oil and shit on the ground. It's going to contribute to this place. Continue to fat these people in their diet. That's going to contribute to this place continually to burn. It said it shall not be quenched day nor night. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste, and none shall pass through it forever. And it says it's not be quenched day nor night. It's pretty much this fire is gonna be so intense. It's not just gonna die down in a week. You ain't gonna be able to put some water on it, to put the fire out. This is going to be that unquenchable, that everlasting fire, meaning the highest form of fire, man. It speaks about that in Sirach. I mean, it's like in Wisdom of Solomon. That's the spirit. In Wisdom of Solomon, the 16th chapter, how the Lord smote them with that fire. Well, even in the water, it had more force in the water, which quenches all things. So even the water is not going to be able to quench this fire. It might be a 100 years, 200 years before goddamn America's that fire starting to die down, because Scripture talk about how this whole landmass is going to be destroyed, man. It's going to be on fire. It's not going to be a month and everybody sweeping up the ass, man. No, this fire is going to be in a very intense flame. And ultimately, the purpose of it is for this place to be desolate, man. Ain't nothing going to come from this. So, matter of fact, let's go back to Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49 and verse 14, it reads, it's like I started 13 again. It says, "For I have sworn by myself, says the Lord, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall become perpetual waste." So the Lord said, He put on Himself. He gonna get them. That you know how Jake say on his mama, Jake be on God. Lord said, on myself, I'm gonna make sure these niggas gonna be done with. So that show you this. The Lord want America to be destroyed, and we with it. It says, "I have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle." See, so that show you this is the form on how the Lord is going to make this place desolate. He's going to raise up these nations to overthrow her. Even the allies, you can read that in Revelation, the 17th chapter. And then it's making more sense. As you can see, the small hats, these little motherfuckers, getting bold and rubbing people the wrong way. And America going with it. And the allies are looking at both of them sideways. So you can see where they're going to turn on this whore. Of course, you got Russia and China, Korea, the blatant enemies of America. But even the allies, you can see where the allies is going to be justified them turning on her. And ultimately, at the end of the day, this going back, this is the Lord's purpose. This is what He wants. I'm going to jump down. Verse 17, it reads, "Also Edom shall be a desolation, and every one that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, said the Lord. No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it." So they show you, once the Lord get through with this place, man, you ain't going to be able to build nothing off of this. Nothing but desert creatures is going to dwell here. And as you can see, this is concerning Edom. But we can go to Jeremiah, I think it's 50. It might be 51. Oh, so it is it. Verse 50. And this is concerning Babylon. Chapter 50. When you read this, it's like Jeremiah chapter 50. This is concerning, because when you go into it, I believe you will start at like 46, 47, 48, one of that in Jeremiah chapter 48, 49, 50. Those were different death threats to the nations. You go into it, the Lord sent threats to Ammon. He sent threats to Moab. And as we go into Edom, then it said Damascus, these nations. Now in Jeremiah 50, it's concerning Babylon. So let's get to Jeremiah 50 in verse 39. It said, "Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein, and shall no more be inhabited forever. neither shall it be dwarfed from generation to generation. We just read that in Isaiah 34, and that was concerning Edom. So as we read in Jeremiah 50, this is concerning Babylon. But they got the same judgment because they the same nigga, man. Edom is running Babylon the Great in this time. It says, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. So I show you this is concerning the same nation of people. And there's a certain land mass that's the target. That target is America, the far west. You know, that's the Lord's intents and purposes is for this place to be violently overthrown, as we read in Jeremiah 49. The Lord said he sworn by himself that Edom shall become a desolation, and ultimately that's his inheritance is destruction. Let's end off on that. His inheritance is destruction. This is the book of Malachi 1 and 4. It reads, 1 and 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So that's his inheritance. The destruction of America. That's going to be his inheritance. And that you're going to see it, the results is this place being a fucking desert where unclean creatures dwell. We can also read this in Revelation the 18th chapter. It says the same thing. Show you it's a specific target. It's a certain land mass. It's dealing with a certain nation. And those are the Edomites. And today the modern so-called white man. And he was set up so the Lord can show his power. The Lord want America destroyed, and we with it as well, man. And we seeing it unfold before our eyes as we see things through the testimony of Yahushua. So yeah, Akim, I just hope that we're edifying. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect that's teaching word and all true faith and sincerity. Shalom.